sad. How could I do this to people who actually love me?
Was this a lover, a boyfriend?
It was a boyfriend, it was a lover, it was a partner. That I thought it was a partner.
So in this time, you felt like there was less appreciation for all that you did?
1000%. It was more of a mind game. I think he recognized my personality and was like, great, she's the one.
Like she's in it.
She can do this. I don't have to lift a finger. She's the right person to take advantage of, and she's not going to question me because she thinks I love her.
Is that why you guys broke up? Because you felt like you were doing more than he was contributing back?
Eventually, I realized like he's not pouring into my cup at all. He is not. He's more manipulative. He's telling me more of like the things that I'm not doing right compared to being appreciative of the little things. So yeah, I got to a point where I was like, maybe you should spend 365 days times 2 on yourself and see where that can get you.
Question, what did he do right, if anything?
Yeah, if anything.
Because I feel like when we're mad coming out of a relationship, we only remember
The bad stuff.
strong points and the emotional highs, which are often the arguments, the fights, the disagreements.
Look.
And we forget some of the good little moments. And I don't know who this is. I'm not picking a side. I just want more context. What do you feel he actually did right? Because 2 years
There's quite a lot of time to just stay.
of not like signaling the red flags is a red flag.
You know, it's going to take some time for me to find the answer for you to that question when there's a lot of manipulation involved. It's so tough. It's like telling someone who's in an abusive relationship, just leave. Pack your bag and go. What?
It's not that
Like
simple.
you can never tell what was real and
No.
what wasn't.
So I also felt like I was lied to. Like, what was real? Like, what was actually real? Because I feel like I was lied to the whole time.
Okay.
So I genuinely feel like I was being used 1000%. Like, don't get me wrong. Here and there, sure, give me some money. Or here and there, spend time with me now and then. But when I express what I want to do, I'll give you an idea. I had an interview for an opportunity to work abroad. On the day of my interview, it was raining. My hair was wet, curly. I can't go to an interview like that. I want to look good. I want to feel good. When you look good, you feel good. My request was, please take me to the hairdresser. Okay, fine. Then something happened. Not taking you anymore. Fine, it's raining, my hair's wet. Can you take me to the interview? I'm not taking you. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this makes me feel like, come on, dude. Like, I don't want to sit around you and you're continuously expressing how ridiculous it is to be with a woman who doesn't work or have her shit together. I don't want to be that person, but at least give me a push. What am I doing for you? The exact same thing that I would like you to do for me. Do unto others as you wish for them to do unto you, right? So, yeah, it's unfortunate that it was a long time that it took out of me. But let me tell you, the comeback, oh boy, more than I ever achieved in my entire life.
Tell us about that a bit.
Okay, let's start off with living with parents, not working, clubbing a lot, working in the industry, meeting the wrong people, blah, blah, blah. You name it. It was happening. To today, we can say homeowner. We can say business owner. We can say back at school. I had 3 goals for myself. Go to university again, get a degree, get a certificate, do what you got to do. My mom always says, education, blah, blah, blah. I hate school, but it is what it is. You kind of have to. Go back to school, get a car, get a property. What did I do? I have 2 of those off my list for the year already. My only thing is, I could probably get a car, but I want a really nice car. So I tell myself, if you can make 100 grand this month, what's stopping you from making 200 grand next month? You know what I mean?
100%.
It's not rocket science. Don't work hard, work smart. Don't work hard. It's not that deep. It's not that deep.
Do you feel that that's where a lot of young women get it wrong?
Yes. Possibly because of who they're surrounded with, because of the idea that they're given externally. Like, this is the life, this is how you got to do it, this is how we're going to give it to you. And then silence. And then you're left on your own.
Mm-hmm. So a big part of how far you can go depends on who you surround yourself with.
Oh yes,
100%
I
networking is the
definitely,
one.
yeah. Networking can change your life. Even if you feel like you're nobody, open up your mouth and find out who you're sitting next to, and then establish. Like, I hate wasting my time. No offense, like I've been in great friendships, and then I'd realize, like, what do you bring to the table? You're taking me back, and you're not a bad person. I'm going to have to cut you off. You're not a bad person. You are on another path that I was on when I was 18, and I cannot. I just don't have the time right now. I need to progress. I need to achieve something, at least every other month or every other week or every other year, something. I just can't go back. I'm so afraid of going back.
And a question for the both of you, actually.
Yes.
Do you guys identify as independent women?
The pause, let me say, not 100% right now. Not 100%, because if I was, I'd have all the things I think I want to be comfortable, you know what I mean? But I have enough to get to where I need to be. Like, I can take care of myself. I don't need to ask anyone for anything. If I want to go on a trip and hop on a plane and switch my phone off, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm comfortable for now. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be.
Okay, so there's still a degree of dependence.
Yes.
What about you, Tiffany?
I feel like I'm not 100% independent. Like, I cannot lie. And it's multifaceted.
Yes.
You know, in terms of like having a kid and being reliant on family. You know, like I depend on them a lot for that,
Right.
to be able to do what I need to do. You know, coming to a different
Yes.
city and really putting yourself out there, and you know, it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not from somewhere, you don't know people.
Oh, yeah.
You have to start from scratch.
Culture
and people
shock.
don't understand how
Culture
tough
shock.
that is, and how tough as nails you need to be
Thick
to
skin.
even make it in a city like Joburg, of all places.
Oh, yes.
Or even remotely be able to, you know, get a roll on. You know,
Exactly.
Or like take care of you. Like, I can go do my
Do
own
your
hair.
hair. Yeah.
You know,
The
send
little
my mother
things.
some money every month, every now and then. It's
Right.
like there's a lot of different things. I could say I am independent in certain ways.
Yes.
Like, if I really, really wanted to, I could go out and I could get shit done like this.
Right.
But at the same time, I do rely on a lot of people. Like, there are a lot of people that are really good to me, that help me get along in life and help me make things happen, and that just ties in with networking.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a bit of both.
Okay, those are honest answers. I really like that, because a lot of people earn a little bit of money and it's like, I'm independent.
No.
But it's like, do you really
You
understand
have to realize
what it means?
what dependence is and what independence
Yes.
is. Like, there's levels to it. You
Yes.
can never just fully be independent, I believe.
And that was going to be my point,
Yeah.
is that I don't believe in independence. I don't believe it's a real thing.
For sure.
People need people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
People need
people.
people.
That's a
Exactly.
good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the concept of independence comes from a defense mechanism in society, where we've identified that there's a difference between those who make it and those who don't make it, and those who are in charge of their lives are independent. Those who can buy a Ferrari and own a house and take trips to Dubai are independent. But is that really what independence means?
There's a lot that people don't see. Not everyone is putting their flaws out there.
No,
You know what I mean?
definitely not.
People will not divulge their true experience just like right off the bat.
And that's the thing, eh? Like, I was just thinking about it yesterday, and I was talking to my mother about this because I was having a moment. And I was like, you know what? I've seen so many people, especially women. I accuse women of this. Like,
Okay.
something bad will happen in your life, and they go to social media, and you're posting your whole
Oh,
life story
yeah.
on there. And I'm like, I don't care if I'm having a good day or bad day. I will never give anyone
that
the
extent.
slightest
Satisfaction,
inkling of what's
yeah.
happening in my life.
No.
I feel like there's so many things that they need to be private to you.
Yes.
And social media, let's face it, it's there for the good things. keep your good things on there. It's like post your nice
good
life
moments,
and your shoes.
yeah.
And, you know, like no one wants to know what's going on.
No.
Like people are just gonna sit there.
They're
and be
gonna
like, "Look
use
at
that
this one.
against you.
Her fifth breakup.
Yeah, like what is wrong with her? People will use it against you.
I have to confess,
Literally.
Oh.
I'm guilty of that.
Really? Did you have a moment?
I have moments every day.
Several.
Interesting.
I have several moments on a daily
Like, you
basis.
should
I had a
never
moment
divulge.
And-
this weekend.
But here's the chapter. You and me.
For the first time, I never take anything to social media. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to that because
Sure.
I'm curious. I'm really curious about what happened. I really want to know what happened. But in the defense of those of us, and you accuse women of this, but men do this all the time.
Honestly,
Really? You
And
think
I'm one of
they
those-
bitch about
Oh,
stuff?
man.
I feel like I
bitch.
don't see it often,
No.
you know?
Men
I think most of
bitch.
the quotes about money and
Ooh.
being strong.
Maybe in
WhatsApp-
your circle.
WhatsApp
Maybe in
stories.
your circle.
Okay.
No. I can confidently say that I dabble in many different circles.
Okay.
You can find me in a boardroom with a bunch of 50-year-olds signing a contract. You can find me on the street corner with a bunch of drug dealers
Okay,
having a
having a
random chat.
conversation, yes.
You can find me in the baller circle trying to have an entrepreneurial, collab with XYZ.
Right.
I just wear so many different hats
Okay.
because I don't feel comfortable being attached to one circle
Yes.
because of my trust issues.
Okay.
I don't give anyone the full view
Great.
because I'm the type of person who's always 100%, and that is a bit intense.
That
You can never be
yes.
you can never be 100% all the time because
No.
people cannot bear your
I
raw
believe
truth
that,
all the
but
time.
there's a level to being composed online.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get.
There's a level. I
But
have
no,
a
some
friend named
people-
Siobhan, she literally messaged me the one day. She's like, "Babe, take that down. You are being emotional." And I was
Oh.
like, "Quick, delete
Oh.
it." I was like, "Thank you, Lord, for you because."
Right.
But sure, but
that
here's
was
my
one
defense.
slip.
Here's my defense to that is that
In the
people like me,
moment.
people like me who are extremely antisocial.
Okay.
Like if I can stay in my apartment
You
all
would.
week
Yeah.
without interacting with the world, I would. I'm not a people person.
Okay.
I can people please.
Okay.
I can mediate.
But you
But
like
my
to be a
battery
bit
is
isolated.
very little. I prefer my alone time. That's
Okay.
when all the clocks start ticking.
Yes.
So in the defense of people like me, I use social media
As
to
a
say the
mechanism.
things that I
You wouldn't
would
usually
never
say.
in person because I have no one to complain to.
Okay.
And I consider myself a very manly man who's afraid of the feminine inside myself. So when I start to feel a little emotional,
You're like, no.
I cover it up with a bit of aggression. I cover it up with a bit of self-motivational
A
talk.
lot of men
But when
do
I'm
that.
online,
So
I can
men.
actually literally post. I can post something.
Yes.
It's not necessarily, oh, I just got into a fight with my girlfriend and this is bad.
But you'll
women
be
are
like,
trash.
have you ever felt like...
Exactly.
because you're behind the screen and then you just want to be like, just for asking for a friend. But like deep down in your soul, you're like, I just need to get this off my chest because so-and-so really pissed me
Exactly.
off.
And what
No.
does and what that does, the reward for that is you get it off your chest.
True.
And people
And
on
do
the
you go
other
back
side-
and delete it
No.
after? Oh.
I don't.
24
And
hours.
I've gotten in trouble for this so many times because I've got corporate people, business partners, friends,
tricky.
family, all seeing this stuff, and it's like, so this is really who this person is. This is what
That's
this
the
person
other
is
thing.
capable
People
of.
also want to judge you because you're just being authentic.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're human. Come on, what the hell? Like, you expect me to just cover up how I feel when I'm affected by this? We have emotions. We have different levels to it. You can get heated but I would go back and delete it. I won't lie to you because then I'm like, oh, who's saving this now? And I'm sure this person is going to
Oh,
go and
yeah.
find out and they're going to put 2 and 2 together and be like, are you
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about so-and-so? I'm like, don't ask me who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I just needed to say what I
And
said.
in your own head, you always over dissect
Yes,
your own
yes.
situation. You're like, okay, this person, that person.
Exactly. And the nice thing is you wake up the next day and rewatch your story and be like,
Was that necessary?
it wasn't actually that deep. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. But I still feel better
in that moment.
because I put it out there.
Yes.
And I'm very aware of the people who come and watch, the people who come and stalk,
Oh,
the
yeah.
people who come and look for ammo. I'm like, come and
Find it.
This is what I want you to see.
This is what
See,
you're
there's a
looking for.
difference between bitching and exposing yourself online and meticulously sharing what you want people to see.
Right.
Like, I'm a nice guy, but I want
But-
people to know that I've got boundaries. So if you
Don't
cross this line,
fuck with me.
the gangster comes out. So I'm
Yes.
putting that out there so that even if we will never interact, you are
You know.
aware that this person is multifaceted.
Exactly.
Because we will never interact in person. You will never see me in the club. We will never meet. But because you're on my story 24/7,
you're going to see what I have to say.
You're going to see what I want you to see.
Got it.
So that's just me defending the little crybabies online, because I'm a crybaby online every once in a while.
Gang.
I don't know. I just feel like there's so many levels to me. Like, no one will ever know me for what I post.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like, people that meet me are like, you know, I've heard this and that about you.
But
that's
in
actually
real
not
life.
true.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, of course. Like, people will always tell you things about me.
I always tell people different things.
Yeah.
I promote lying to people on the first occasion, because let me tell you something. Yes. Because let me tell you something. You will know exactly where the story came from. I will not even joke.
I love that.
Seriously, because people are so hectic.
No,
People
they
are
are.
so malicious for no reason. Just spend your time doing something that's gonna like help your life. Why must you come in? Oh, did you hear Michaela so and so? What did that do anything for you?
Looking cute for 2 seconds.
Oh, Michaela's on an aeroplane. Who is she going to see? No, bitch. I got on the plane because I'm flippin' tired of the city. I wanted to hear the oceans in the back. I stayed indoors. I smoked a joint all weekend long, and I slept. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just figure out who you're dealing with and then take it from there. That's all I
So
said.
what was the slip this weekend?
What happened?
What happened?
I just couldn't hold it in. To be honest with you, I even had to remove the person from my close friends.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's how deep it was. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, okay, fine. I'm not going to say too much. I just want to get it off my chest because it's wrong. It is just so wrong on so many levels. But the kind of person I am, I'm not going to confront you because I'm pretty damn sure you know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But you know what? The way I bump my head, I'm going to leave you to it. Go ahead. We'll talk to each other once you've got your bandage on and we're going to move forward. I really don't have time to be anyone's parent at all. But I typed a 6 post on my close friends and I got it off my chest. and I watched it one time. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. And I'm pressing. And I've got like my 7 close friends in there and all of them aren't even saying anything to me because they want to say, but I told you, don't mess with this one. So I'm just like, guys, don't tell me I'm wrong. I just want to express to you because we can't sit down. I'm not here for the lecture. I can't see you all right now, but this is what's happening. End of story. Don't say I told you so and delete it. And I move forward. And here I am right now.
Michaela's got beef, people. You heard it. You heard it here first. All the smoke.
Come and apologize right now.
All the smoke. No,
Let's
you definitely got to deal with things.
Yes.
I vouch for not letting shit slide.
No.
Like, deal with it, then it doesn't come back.
Exactly.
Ignore it, it's going to keep happening, and you're going to be living in a cycle of the same problem because you don't deal with it.
Yes.
So I 100% back you on that. If you need shooters, we got shooters. We are inside.
I'll let you know.
So yeah, no, that was a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Coming back to the whole conversation around independence and spirituality and growth and self-development, in both of yours journeys, what can you say are the best actions to take? If anyone's watching, what can they do now to start moving upwards? Because I feel like moving forward isn't good enough. You got to move up. You can't be moving on the same level.
Because you could go forward for a long time.
Exactly.
Just forward.
Upwards. Onwards and upwards is what I always like to say. So you guys have had journeys that have taken you like this.
Oh, yeah.
And you constantly hit a low, but you go higher than the previous high.
Yes.
What can you say to that as far as the actions that are practical enough that people can apply to move from A to Z?
Well, with that being said, one thing that you should know, no matter how many times you hit a low, you got to know that there's definitely a high coming. So digest it differently than being too hard on yourself, taking yourself through a dark space. Sit down with yourself, prioritize yourself. The most practical thing for me was to set goals. Simple as that. Just set a few goals. You know what you want. What do you need to do to get there? How achievable goals, short-term, long-term, very achievable and manageable. So don't be unrealistic. Do what you can do for yourself, not what Beyonce is doing, because Beyonce is Beyonce and you are you're amazing. Just do you, one step at a time, and be realistic. That's all I have to say.
And Miss Tiffany Smith?
Well, mine are very like pointed. It's like, be kind to yourself.
Okay.
That's a big one.
Yeah, be kind to yourself, because the change is inevitable. You
Yeah.
know, things are going to happen. Things go left, you can't control it. Also, having a good support system around you, like knowing
Yes.
who's for you. And number one for me is always my mother.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like no one is going to keep it real with you.
But your
and have
mom.
your best intentions like your mother.
Agreed.
So definitely family in terms of mom, really good, stable friends. And then taking time out to pray a bit. You know, also taking time out to break down a bit, you know, cry.
Yes, allow it to
get
happen.
it out of you, and then say, okay. Oh, and one thing that I always tell myself, especially if you go through like a heartbreak,
Okay.
I always say, you know, it hurts right now and yeah, it's shit. And you're depressed, but one day you're going to wake up and it's not going to
hurt
like
you
this
that
anymore.
much.
And I remind myself of this because as you grow up, you go through all these different things that take you on a mental wave.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, it's like, one day you wake up and you're like, I'm fine.
Yeah, you got through it.
Exactly. So I always remind myself, I'm like, one day I'm going to wake up and this is not going to be the case.
Exactly.
Because I took time with myself. I really take time with myself. I'm always kind to myself because I would want other people to be kind to me too.
Exactly. I agree.
And I want to treat people as such as well. So you have to work on you first before you even go and pour into a relationship with someone in terms of friendship or like a romantic relationship. You really need to be stable within your own mental and your heart.
100%.
So those are mine.
100%. 100, 200, 300% for the three of us. And I agree with that because my father always says, you can never look for other people to complete you.
Oh,
And this
for
is
sure.
where
That's
this is where
so
the
true.
codependence, the over dependence comes into play, where I've got these 3-4 best friends who I've been best friends with since we were
Yes.
kids, and they're my go-to because when I'm with them, they make me feel a certain way. They open me up to certain opportunities. I can communicate with them freely.
Yes.
So you start to look for them to kind of fill certain gaps in your
That's a
self.
dangerous codependence.
And when they're not around, you're literally a bit
Falling
lost.
apart.
Like,
Yes.
drama starts to kick in. Well, she hasn't called me in 3 days.
Like, what's
maybe
going
we're not
on?
friends anymore.
Yes.
Maybe she's dating
Like
someone,
pushing
and now
yourself
Because I can't sleep enough without you, and I
Exactly.
can't eat enough without. Yeah, that's how it is.
Exactly, and it becomes even more evident when you're in a romantic relationship where a lot of let me be
Okay.
very careful how I say this.
Please do.
A lot of women grow up with an ultimate dream of being married. Like, I want to find my husband. I've been planning my wedding since I was a little girl. And once I have this man, I'm going to brag about him online. I'm going to show off my ring and show all these bitches that I've made it.
Yeah.
And I'm ahead of the game.
Bad idea. As soon as you
Bad
post it,
idea.
let me tell you what happens. As soon as you even put the emoji
Mosquitoes.
on the name, oh my gosh, things can go left.
Exactly.
But the best thing and the most